Hello, my YouTube family. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is Nema here. I don't have to introduce myself again. As we all know, I haven't been uploading anything lately due to a lot of other commitments. However, today and this year, I'm going to introduce something different. And that being said, it's going to be something as interviewing people, getting to know them and what they're going through, especially people who are here on visas, for example students and other people who are here just to find a living for themselves. Okay, therefore, as you can see, I am not alone here. I've got a beautiful lady with me. She's going to introduce herself as she's a grown-up, and we will go from there. Stay tuned, stay back and enjoy the show. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Dolphine. I'm from Kenya in Africa and I'm here on a student visa. Thank you.
Oh, you all heard her name. I won't repeat that again. So, Dolphine, you said you're from Kenya. Which tribe are you from in Kenya?
I'm from Kenya, Nyanza province. I'm from the Luo community.
And how do you say welcome in Luo?
We say erokamano to mean thank you actually.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Erekamano means thank you.
Thank you.
And welcome?
I think it's just karibu. We still borrow some words from Swahili actually.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
great. And you also mentioned that you are here on a student visa. How is life in Australia as a student who stand on visa?
Okay, life in Australia for those on student visa,
Yeah.
I can't actually say that it's easy because there are a lot of changes. First of all, you're coming into a new study curriculum, one that you're not used to. And also you come in and you get culture shock, so you still need to get time to adapt. And in that case, you may end up being mentally strained, and also you're away far from home. So it isn't really easy for those of us who are on student visa. Yeah.
Right. The culture shock. You mentioned culture shock. How is it different from your origin place?
Okay, for instance, I'll first talk about food because that is what we survive on. In my case, when I first came, I really had problems finding out what to eat. Everything was tasting funny because it wasn't what I was used to at home, and you come in, you see new things, and you have to adapt to them like that fast. So it was so hard for me to find something that I could feed on. And actually, I've been in Australia for some few months, and I'm still trying to navigate my way around what to really eat.
Oh, so food seems to be an issue for you.
Yeah, food was my number one issue.
No wonder when you first came you were a bit, she carried the body.
Oh.
But now she mentioned food, I clearly understand that she's struggling with eating, and that's why she's getting slim.
Oh.
Everybody, I'm so sorry about that. I am not so sorry, but what did I'm sorry at the same time, but not so sorry, because we all, at some point, when you move to a new, different country, a different environment, things are always different. I think you'll find your way around, and it's sad to know that you've been how long? How many months?
Let me say around 12 months, but I cannot also say, I'm not totally saying that the food in Australia is bad. The food is actually good and healthy, but I'm trying to copy in. I wasn't used to this kind of food, so I'm not saying that it's bad. It's actually good.
The taste,
Yeah,
the
the
taste is
taste.
different from back home. I feel you. I think at some point that happened to me too and some other people that came abroad. Okay, as a student, how are you finding it with life, family, schooling, and making an income for yourself in Australia?
As I'd said earlier, it isn't that easy because I'm here. I left my family back at home, so there is that. I did cut the family tie, and you have to go to school. You have to work, and at least you work for 48 hours. and we have a lot of bills to pay because the cost of living is so high. So it's challenging for students. And also, as I had said, we have a new curriculum to get used to. The curriculum we're using in Australia is not the same one that we were using back at home. So it's all new changes and adaptation every now and then. But I'm really enjoying classes in Australia, let me say, because at least they're teaching us what is relevant to the market, and also you're getting skills that can help you survive. So with that, I can give the Australian system of education a plus.
Bravo to the Australian system, education system. I think they deserve that. It's good to say. It's good to hear that you love the Australian education system. Yeah, it's good to look at the positive side of every situation. I believe. You mentioned how is work wise.
Okay, when it comes
How are you
to
juggling school and work all together?
Alright, I must admit that it's so tiresome because at times you find that you're just from work and you have to rush into class because you have to go to class in order to keep your visa. So it's really challenging for students to mingle in between work and study.
And does that have to be like virtual or have to be in class, like physically?
For those on student visa,
Yeah.
actually majority of our classes, I can say 3/4 of it you have to be there physically. We rarely do classes online. Yeah, so it's really challenging for us to be in class physically at the same time you have to be at work. But all in all, you still have to find a way in that you can do both. I don't know.
I didn't know that. That's quite mind opening. I'm just gonna go with what you mentioned because I find it quite interesting that you're liking the Australian education system, and the work life is quite as you mentioned, it's quite tiresome, which at some point I see that you also have to keep up with the school fees. You have to pay it all by yourself and on time, which is it's a bit of a struggle, I can tell. And for those, after you have said all that, what have you liked so far about Australia since you have been here? It's almost a year?
Yeah, it's almost a year. Okay, what I've liked about Australia is that it gives you a chance to get exposed, let's say, to the other world, because you meet different kinds of people. Yeah, people from different parts of the world, and you have to mingle with them. And also, you learn new skills. Since I came, I can say I've been in different working places, and in all these places, you have skills to learn. So I really feel like I've built myself skill-wise, and also I've learned new things in life. For instance, I wasn't a good saver, but since I came to Australia, I can say that I've learned how to cut my cost. I don't do impulse buying anymore. So I've really grown as a person, and I think that's a good thing.
I love that you've learned how to save, because that's a struggle. I struggle with that too, but it's not about me today. It's just what kind of tips would you give somebody who is struggling with saving from your own experience?
Okay, from my own experience first, you should have a budget limit. Like what expenditure do you want to do with, like, let's say for a monthly income, how much do you want to spend? And also you should make sure that you're saving on something. So when you go by this, it means that you look for housing that is affordable, which is also a challenge in Australia. Housing is becoming an issue. And also we can say your food stuff, like what you eat, just do it according to your budget. And for ladies, if you want to dress up, you should buy clothes that are within your budget limit.
Right.
Don't overdo your shopping, especially when it comes to clothes and shoes. Yeah, you need to look good, but at least if you're going to buy, let's say, a pair of shoes, get something that will be multi-purpose. You can wear it to various occasions. Don't limit yourself. Otherwise, you're free to enjoy yourself, and it is also good to enjoy the money you're making.
Absolutely.
Don't just be so mean on yourself that you don't want to spend your saving. No, you need to spend that money too.
So you have to spend with purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't go with trends on Instagram, TikTok. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Because I have observed a lot of young people being pressured with influencers on social media. Everybody wants to wear Gucci. I don't know. I'm not a brandy person, so I don't know much about it. only know that Gucci, which is a bit popular. Everybody wants to look good, and that is not within their budget. So what she said is spend with purpose. I love that one. Okay, so you said you've learned how to save, you've learned new skills in a new country. So tell us, for a person who is watching and listening to you right now, what kind of advice would you give to them? Like if they, let's say they're in Africa, they're in Congo, they're in Kenya, and they are willing, they are fighting hard to come here and study. What kind of advice would you give them?
Okay, first of all, I know everybody back at home that is in Africa, everybody wants to come abroad. But okay, I'm sorry to say this, but I'm not going to discourage you. Life abroad is not all that roses. You have to come braced up to work hard, to pay the bills. And also for those who are back at home, please don't give those of us who are already here a lot of pressure. Like we don't have that extra money. There is that notion that abroad there is a lot of money. No. People really have to work hard, at the same time they have to spend it. But those who want to come, you're really welcome. You can really find your way. You can use all those visas, the student visa, the skilled work visas to come, but also come with some money, because you'll have to go through some months where you're still looking for a job in order to settle in. So you find there are these cases whereby you find parents are sending their children, let's say to Australia. They don't give them any money because they expect that immediately you land, you're going to find a job and pick it from there. That is not the case. So for parents, when you're sending your children to Australia to come and study, kindly give them some money to keep them for like a month or two. Because if you find like you send a girl and you haven't given her anything to sustain her, that child may land into traps and it won't be good for her, and you can't actually blame the child because they have to survive, they have to pay the bills. So actually for those parents who are watching back from Africa, when you're sending your child abroad to come and study, kindly give them some money so that they can be using that money when they're still finding their way around.
You said something about the girl child regarding how they can get into a trap. What sort of traps can they get into if they come in without money from their countries to Australia?
Okay.
What sort of traps were you trying to mention there?
Okay, when I talked about traps, first I'd like to make it clear it isn't just limited to the girl child. Also the boys, they get into this whereby you find somebody's from Africa, they've just landed into Australia, they don't even have a host. So in the first place, they don't have a place they're going to stay in. So you find someone, okay, there's some human beings, humans are not good all the time. They have another intention. So they come, they offer this person accommodation, let's say it's a girl, and they take that girl in. So after a while, they'll start asking for favors. And you find that this child just landed in Australia, they have no income. Back at home, they think that life is good in Australia. So you find that they have to give in. And mostly you find that the host takes advantage of this person and they can't actually speak up because they're new into the country. They don't even know the right channel to follow in order to make a complaint and all that. So that's why I was still insisting, if you're a parent and you're sending your child abroad, kindly give them some money to sustain them for a while before they can figure their way out.
That's a very good point, and I hope our parents back home understands where that comes from. It comes from a person who have had experience, although it did not happen to her. She might have had roommates who went through such experience, and they spoke about it, and that's why she's willing to share it. So parents, wherever you are, be it in Africa, America, wherever you are, and you are praying and hoping for a better future for your child, and Australia is the place, or anywhere that is better for them, take that advice. Send them with money. Like, send them with a pocket full. Nigerian will say that. Send them with a pocket that will sustain them for a couple of months. And you mentioned that when you get here, your family back home, they expect you to start giving it back to them immediately. what advice would you give them, and to kind of give you time to settle in a new environment, to learn the rules, the laws and regulations? What kind of advice would you give to them?
To our families back at home, we really love you and we like to see you guys flourishing. But from a personal experience, I feel like those people back at home should be giving their family members who are abroad some time to at least catch up before they can start sending you something. Like I started by saying that life is not all roses, because people in Australia also have bills to pay. For a case of those on student visa, you have fees to pay, and you really find it is so hard for them to sustain themselves and at the same time sustain you back at home. So people back at home, I actually urge you that you should be patient with your family members that are abroad, because they're really trying their best actually.
And especially if they're students.
Yeah, students, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I hope they understand that. Give your children time. Give your mothers time, because I believe it's not only children that are coming over. There's mothers, there is dads who are coming over for studies. Give them about 6 months or 8 months to settle in, because life here is not, as she said, life here is not all roses as you see on media or whatever. So give them time, and they will make you happy. They will give back whenever time allows. You said that when they get the opportunity to come, they should come work ready, and they should come knowing that any sort of job that gives them an income is a job. What if there is somebody out there who comes, because I believe most of, especially Kenya, I've seen this, most of them that comes over, they already come, they're undergraduates, they have their degrees, and they're qualified to do certain jobs. For those who have their degrees and they're hoping once they come here, they just go into the workforce, let's say, for example, they studied to be accountants in Kenya, and they're hoping once they come here, they'll just go into the field. What sort of advice can you give to them?
Okay, for the professionals who are intending to come to Australia, okay, it's a good thing, and actually Australia is giving permanent residence to those with skills. I think between 2 to 3 years skills, you can get your permanent residence. So actually, if you have your skills, you can just come, and there are exams to be done with various professional bodies. For example, the nurses, they have their own bodies that administrate them. So you can just come and check for the qualifications and the requirements, and if you meet the requirements, you can join and still be a professional in Australia. You don't have to limit yourself to be in the industry that you didn't get the skills for. You can still come and do your professionalism here in Australia. So people should be open-minded. Don't just come that you're fixed, you want to go and work in the factories and do the support work and the aged care. No, you can still do your profession here in Australia.
You can continue with the same profession that you have there here, is it, as long as you have the experience.
The experience, and also you meet the requirements, because every country has their own requirements for a certain profession. So actually, I think people should equip themselves with knowledge and information about what they want to do, and they should also follow their passion. It's all about what you want to do and what you like. Yeah.
So come in equipped. That one is the point, and I think you should write it down if you're taking notes. You have given us a very great insight on the students who are willing to come over. Going forward, what is your plan? If, let's say, you have a sister and a brother too, I believe. I'm just kind of guessing, but yes. What if they're ready to come? Like if they get that opportunity as you did, and one of them is coming over. What sort of things would you? What sort of information would you pass to her? Like work-wise, lifestyle, food. Especially you mentioned food, that part. How would you prepare her to come and at least live the life that you have experienced in a different way? Because I know you had it hard. you had it hard from the scratch. But now that you have the experience, how would you want your sister to come and cope with life here?
First of all, if my sister or brother wants to come and okay, we have a family like the YouTube family, my sisters and brothers. If you wanna come, okay. First of all, I'll just let you know that you should have information. Don't be like for us. We came in Australia, we were really misinformed. You're like, you just learned, you'll get a job. No, you come, you have to go around first because before you get that job. So like, don't come with very high expectations. And actually, if you come, work hard to meet those expectations. I won't say that I should limit somebody to do it the way I did it. No, we all have different ways of going around something. But actually, do what makes you happy, and at the same time, don't break the laws. If you're keeping the laws and it makes you happy, then you're good to go. Because we can all navigate it choosing different routes, but at the same time, we'll all get into the same destination we want to get to. So it's all about choices. You just make your right choices and get your information, and you can go around it well. Yeah.
You had that simple and clear. And for the people, you say that there are people when you came, you had people misleading you with information. What can you tell those people? Like, what exactly can you put into their mind right now that can help somebody out there?
Okay. I started by saying that I'm going to be honest. So I won't hide
Spit
anything.
it all out so you can help someone out there.
Yes, for those intending to come to Australia, I'm still repeating, it is not a bed of roses. You come, you have to sweat for your money. So come being energetic enough, knowing that you're going to work in order to be able to sustain yourself in Australia. And also be open-minded to mingle with other people of different culture and from different societies. So you have to learn how to be able to cope with everyone in the society. So you don't have to be mean about yourself and be ready to learn. It's all about learning new things every day. So don't just limit yourself. If you want to come to Australia, you're highly welcome. It is a nice place to be in. Yeah.
You are welcome here. It's a nice place to be in. I like that one. What else can you tell these people really? Because many of them are eager to come and experience life in Australia. In Canada. You've never been in Canada. I've never been in Canada, but let's talk about Australia particularly. The good and the bad. You have said the good, the bad, the good and the bad. But for your own experience, you work one job.
Yeah, I work one job, 48 hours every fortnight. 48 hours a fortnight. That's according to our student visa. We only work for 48 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's just in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's in 2 weeks. You have to work for 48 hours. You have to pay your rent. You have to feed yourself. You have to pay fees. So it's not that easy, actually. Not easy, but you just have to find a way to go through it.
Wow. That's a lot of hours in just 2 weeks. For the people sitting, for a person sitting there who had all these roses plans, thinking once they come to Australia, they're gonna go to the beach, they're gonna have time to do shopping, they're gonna have there's a lizard there. They're gonna have time to go to the beach. They're gonna have time to be posting, going to the Gold Coast, taking photos with those big buildings. How do you manage your time?
Okay, you just have to create time for yourself, because they say too much work without play makes Jack a dull boy. So you have just to manage your time well and have some time for yourself. And actually, Australia has some of the most beautiful beaches you can go to. So many recreational centers, facilities. So if you want to come to have fun in Australia, it's the right place to be in. You'll really have a lot of fun, and you live to remember those moments. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna run. Okay, thank you so much for the information you've given. Personally, I have learned a lot. Just to be honest, that's my honest opinion on all this conversation that we had here. Because there's a lot I didn't know because I didn't come here or as a student, and I came as a permanent resident, as a refugee, and to be able to have access to this type of information, it's really mind blowing, and it's something I am grateful for. Thank you so much, Dolphine, for your time, and I really hope this helps somebody out there. It shouldn't just be limited to the people who are in Africa willing to come to Australia. This should be a lesson to people who are also in Australia already and they're living. You know, she said she works 48 hours per fortnight, whereby I only work 30 hours per week. That's just too much. For me, if you tell me to work 48 hours, I'll be sleepy every single day. I'm not going to concentrate. First of all, I just want to say you guys are actually so brave. You are very brave, and that motivates me to actually work really hard for myself and to cherish life as it is, because it's not easy. It is not easy at all. As we wrap up, I just want to say thank you so much, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you've learned something just as I have, because in life, it's a learning journey. We learn new things every single day. Our mind gets renewed every single day. So don't limit yourself to information. As she mentioned before, be equipped with information and don't limit yourself to the little that you have. Be an explorer. Explore the information, explore the environment, especially if you're already here. She said you can work hard, but don't forget to play. Don't forget to go to the beaches. Don't forget to catch up with your friends. Don't forget to check on your families. You know life can get really hard, but there is always time in listening to Dolphine's story. I believe next time it's gonna be more of what will be next time about?
We'll shed light more maybe on our African culture, but we'll make sure that it's something educational and something to benefit both those who are here and those who are back.
Absolutely, I think I like the sound of that. So stay tuned. There is a lot to come. That being said, I'm going to give my sister Dolphine the microphone again, and she's gonna give us the last word before we finalize it.
Okay, as we come to the end of our session today, I just really want to appreciate all those people on student visa like myself. Like, we're really working so hard, and absolutely. I assure you that we're gonna see the fruits of it at the end of it all. And thank you so much for watching, people. Thank you.
Thank you so much for learning, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.